Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you are new. For today's video, we have a kind of strange setup and outfit, but I'm going to be sharing with you my TBR for the Disney Read-Along Nightmare Before Christmas edition. So I wanted the setting and the outfit to match the part. So we've got Jack Skellington earrings, and then a Christmas necklace, and then I still have some of my Halloween decorations up, and then I just threw up some kind of pathetic garland, honestly. So I think I'm gonna have to get something else, but this is what I'm working with for now. If you don't know what the Disney Read-Along is, it is a readathon that I host every year in May, and it's always themed around different Disney movies and stuff like that. But this year I decided to host a second round in November for The Nightmare Before Christmas. So it's going to be a lot of fun. If you want to learn more about it, I'll leave a link to my announcement video up in the eye in the corner. So all of the challenges are based around Nightmare Before Christmas, characters or songs, and that week we're also going to be doing a watch-along of the film, so it's not too late to join in if you want to. And I don't know if I already said it, but it's happening from November 22nd to the 28th, so without further ado, let's jump into my TBR. The first reading challenge is This Is Halloween, which is to read a spooky book. So for this, I'm actually going to be doing a reread of one of my favorite books, The Melancholy Death of Oyster Boy and Other Stories by Tim Burton. I thought this would be a really fitting book for this readathon because this is a collection of some of Tim Burton's poetry, and this will actually be my third time reading this book, but I never get sick of these poems. I absolutely love them, so this is definitely a spooky book that works perfectly for this challenge. Next we have The Pumpkin King, which is to read a book with orange on the cover. Now I think I may have to pick a different book for this challenge because the book that I picked out, now that I'm looking at it, doesn't really have an orange cover at all, or like any orange really on it, so I might have to pick something else, but this is initially the book that I picked for this challenge, Little Women by Louisa May Alcott. So I don't know why I thought this book was more of a burnt orange color, but it really is more red with like gold accents, but in my head it looked orange when I picked it for this challenge. But I still really want to read it this week because this readathon's taking place the week of Thanksgiving, so I thought that this would make like a nice Thanksgiving read. I don't know why, but it just seemed like a nice thought in my head. So yeah, that is what I was going to use for this challenge, but like I said, might have to pick something else. But this does work for some other challenges, so I'm still planning on reading it that week. The next challenge is Jack and Sally, which is to read a book with a romance in it, so two of the books could work for this challenge. This book features a couple of different stories with romance. In fact, the first one is called Stick Boy and Match Girl in Love, and it's one of my favorite poems in here, so there's definitely some romance that happens in this book, even though some of it is pretty tragic, spoiler alert. But then also Little Women, I know there's like some romance that happens in this book, first between like Joe and Laurie, a little bit more on the Laurie side, and then between Laurie and Amy, so I think that this would count for this challenge also. The next challenge is What's This? And that's to read a book in a genre or a format that you haven't read before or don't read often. So all three of the books on my TBR could work for this challenge because number one, I don't ever read poetry except for this. Like this and Dr. Seuss is basically the only poetry that I like. Like I've tried to read others and I really don't like it, so I don't read it very often at all. So this could work for that. I also rarely ever read classics, so this is another thing that I don't read very often. And then the third book on my TBR is nonfiction, which again is a genre that I don't read from very often, and that is Burton on Burton, which is basically the closest we're ever going to get to a Tim Burton autobiography. The way that I think this is set up, just from looking at the chapter contents, is that it talks a little bit about his childhood, and then he talks a bit about his early days working with Disney, and then the rest I think is just going to mainly be about his work and like his experience making the work, rather than, you know, a typical autobiography like about his life. I think it's more so about his work. But I don't know for sure because I haven't read it yet, but the foreword is by Johnny Depp and it's edited by Mark Salisbury, so I am super excited to read this, and again, it's pretty fitting for this readathon if I do say so myself. And like I said, I don't read a lot of nonfiction, so that also works for this challenge. And the final challenge for this readathon is Sandy Claus, which is to read a book set during the holidays. And I always say for these kinds of challenges that you don't have to read a Christmas book or like a holiday book for this challenge. It could be a book that's just like partially set during the holidays. So once again, two of my books could work for this because there is at least one poem in here that is set during Christmas, I believe. And then I don't know for sure about this book because I've never read it before, but in the movie Little Women, there is a chunk of it that is set on Christmas, so I'm assuming that the same scenes are going to happen in the book also. So both of these books will also work for this challenge. Technically, if you think about it, besides the whole orange challenge, I could complete all of the challenges with just these two books, but I also do really want to read this book because obviously it's just like so perfect for this readathon because it's all Tim Burton. So yeah, those are the three books that are on my TBR. Leave me a comment down below. Let me know if you've read any of these books and if you liked them, but without any spoilers. Also, let me know if you will be participating in this readathon also and what you plan on reading. And yeah, that is all for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye!
You hear that, Samson?